never forget that this movie, the series in general, and everything else I create is brought to you by the kind souls over on my Patreon. Check it out and see if you fancy any of the rewards. It's crazy to me to see someone who is fairly important so far in the main story suddenly being in the movie, all thanks to, as I'm told, Oda being hugely involved in the movies from here on. That's genuinely quite sick, isn't it? It's like during a shonen where you suddenly meet someone insanely more powerful than everyone else. Right away you can kind of tell Oda had a hand in it because it's exploring things of importance to the wider world, rather than an island where something evil is going down. Oh heck yeah, that power deserves one more! So too does the cinematic of them dropping down. I did appreciate seeing them fighting back though, rather than just being in a state of panic, especially since this was clearly a well-defended and important base. Uncharted Luffy Edition! Dude, what a seriously cool way of entering the starting credits! A clever way for Luffy to not only slow himself down, but also likely soften the impact after such a large fall. Not running through a jungle whilst being chased by a really weird looking lizard on the spot. Always like adventures like this, where you got little Luffy, then the weird looking lizard, and now this giant land squid thing beats it up. And now it's being picked on by the giant praying mantis. I mean, what even is this place, bruh? Into the freaking weird giant looking bear all of a sudden. Genuinely totally unexpected. I kind of figured that for the start of the movie, Luffy would kick ass at the end of this series of fights, but no. That was sick, we all know that already, but what ended up shocking me even more than the last win is Luffy having to resort to a third gear attack right at the start of the film. Baby Luffy! There's my boy Oda clearly involved. Hey Oda, you want to put homes in this area? Course I do, you silly bugger. Make them proper unique. That's a legit conversation I quoted as well. It's my other boy Brook in his first movie, and where I come from, that equals a win.
Frankie, I wouldn't
normally win this, but as I just heard a couple days ago about the voice actor for Frankie retiring, I feel a win is worth giving out to him. He's such a legend. Also, whilst I'm here, Robin looking real good and smart and everything. Don't even care, she's getting another one for this outfit, now I can fully see it. No. 2 wins again. First of all, I think it's fair to say basically no one expected the ants to walk off with quite so heavy of a victory there. And secondly, it's interesting to see an island where everything is constantly attacking everything else pretty much, and thus we also see their interactions with the wildlife too. Taya, what are you doing? You busted into the studio to say hi? Taya, what are you doing? Huh? You like back scratches? You like your back being scratched, huh? Lastly, have a win not only for Frankie stepping in front of Robin to defend her up close if needs be, but also because the animation so far is nothing short of gorgeous looking. Ah, what a sweetheart Brook is! For context, Frankie said, "Now I know why they're not after you, you have no flesh to eat," and this was the amazing reaction. sure which is better really, the attack from Brook showcasing his most excellent skills, or how Robin and Frankie trusted him so much that they walked into the charging ants with no worries. Probably the best zoom out shot I've ever witnessed in anime, and it's even better because it then merges right after with the intro title. The introduction of all of the characters and their bounties looking real tasty. Nami just effortlessly continuing her personal journey to look as attractive as is physically possible, basically. The dance I do when I see Nami in a new One Piece movie looking even hotter. All jokes aside though, the actual win is for the clearly incredibly smooth animation there. Actually, I thought that was so damn good looking it should get max wins, but I did just win it, so with this one, count it as a double basically. Few wins here. Firstly, have one for all of the different clothing for everyone, always a big fan of that, as you know.
Luffy to Zoro to Nami to Usopp wa East Blue shushin nanda.
Secondly is for Chopper pointing this out to Brook as they hear of islands being seemingly destroyed in East Blue, albeit thankfully not their islands yet. And thirdly and finally for now, Chopper not only sounding adorable saying it, but looking totes adorbs too. Putting what looks like actual writing onto the paper. I know I winned everyone's clothing, but just look at the hat on Frankie. It's glorious. Dude, how sick is their tech that they've got something like this on board? I guess you can really see Oda's influence when he's including things like this, which I'm also a big fan of. Makes for a seriously interesting start to the movie, as I'm guessing they took Nami because she's such a great navigator and much better than theirs clearly since they didn't detect anything. Shame he trapped his own people out there, but also interesting is his ability and how he seems to control the entire ship with it too. Right away, this at the very least cements him as a bad guy in the movie. That's definitely another great new ability, and powerful too. Zoro wasting no one's time in being a badass. What I liked here is that whilst everyone is freaking out about how awesome this is going to be, Zoro seems to be silently in thought, likely not trusting this guy, and rightly so. The view from a serious distance away looking real good.
What?
It's so quick, but how all four of them get ready for combat right as this happens. How it's very clear that Oda's sense of humour, somewhat born out of old Japanese comedy slapstick stuff, is also injected into this movie via this hilarious addition. Being nice to electrical animals is always a win. Getting given a reason why the animals are the way they are on these islands. I thought where Luffy was going to be how the entire area looked, but I'm over the moon to see that that's clearly not the case since we're being blessed with this visual here. Not running, swinging, and then jumping on the spot. What an awesomely powerful attack! This place is legit crazy, and I am totally here for all of it so far. One, giving a solid reason how they survived the massive fall, that being hitting the branches and then falling into the water, but also finding out that humans actually live in this area. That was kind of shocking. How they did the sizes so well here, like you'd be scared out of your wits seeing this before you. Zoro be like, I don't care if it's the main series or a movie, I'm gonna be one of anime's most badass characters, full stop.
Chopper, お前の怪我を貸してれ。
手脱げるか。
気づいたか?
An anime where someone doesn't ask someone who has just woken up if they're awake as they're clearly awake. Good old One Piece! Zoro's epic ability to get and remain lost on display as he wandered around the snowy area for days not seeing this. Also though, the visual is superb. What's that? Totally different looking homes to everywhere else in this world. That's right, baby!
これかい? ここの人間にはなぜかみんなにあるんだよ。
Feels very Sky Islandish to me. I like it.
あの電電虫で捉えられた映像はそのまま王宮に送られている。
That's certainly new. I wonder if Oda will use that later on in the main series, but also finding out what evil that dude is up to here, taking all the youngsters to work for him. The fact that they hand animated this big old critter running away.
私たちの町はダフトグリーンっていう木に囲まれてて、動物たちから町を守ってるの。
Giving a very logical, and not to mention clever reason as to why the animals leave the people of the village alone, given how violent they are all the time.
私のために危険な真似はしないでくれ。
Learning why the girl was out there on her own, what's happening to some people in the village, and perhaps maybe Chopper could end up helping, but let's continue on with this great movie.
俺もヘトヘトだ。
Chopper is so painfully adorable, it sometimes physically hurts me.
なんだてめえか。
These four having now met back up.
サンジ、ウソップ。
Physically hurts!
全ネットワークを駆使して必ず探し出せ。
Glad that, unlike in other movies, Nami was now able to save herself. With the help of her new friend here, of course. But for me, it makes sense, as she is definitely getting stronger over time too. How these lovely birds always seem to be so nice to humans. That. This mountain! Heck yes! Now Luffy and Nami are very likely about to meet up again. The lovely bird once again helping them out.
みんなは?
I mean, I'm not even going to make a joke about that. That is outrageously good.
ビリってくるだろ。
That is amazing. The first person he can fool around with without risking hurting them, since Luffy is obviously, as known, entirely resistant to electricity. My god, that is one of the coolest things I've ever had the pleasure of witnessing in One Piece. Classic Brook joke right there. Lucky Luffy! Seeing the town from a distance. Half the win is just the impressive animation, even on something like this. The other half is them all meeting up, now just missing Frankie, Robin and Brooke. Seeing how everyone else outside of the village lives, eating and drinking to excess, since I'm guessing they're all part of his crew, and the young women are forced to work there, no doubt.
すみません。パンツ見せてもらってもよろしいですか?
Never change your weird ways, Brooke.
おめえらも式の親分と兄弟の杯を交わすんだ。
つもりよ。
Robin, as always, thinking very quickly on her feet here, much the same way Nami would. Animating this whole crowd by hand is nuts!
お前ら総会が済んだらあの動物たちを送り込むんだそうだ。
Knowing how protective Toei are of their One Piece movies, I'll show just this, but of course the win is for the reveal of his plans, to destroy East Blue and overthrow the government.
シュッと決める。
ドレスコードね。わかったわ。
Robin is totally going to change her already great clothing to something even better. This is not a drill! How everyone knows that danger is on its way, so they're lined up ready to fight to also protect Nami.
Huh?
I'm glad that, in spite of missing, his first attack was something he hadn't expected. I also really like how, in spite of being very strong, he's not doing a great job of taking them all on at the same time, and thus does take an attack here and get hurt. So close to max wins for the anti-anime aspect of him making a threat against Sanji, but before he can carry it out, he's blasted to the back by Luffy. One of the best uses of CGI I've seen in ages now. Again, wish I could show more, but take max wins for a series of most excellent attacks. Luffy held back the dirt, Sanji boosted Zoro up there, Usopp attacked ahead of him, just shocked it didn't land. Wouldn't be a One Piece movie without the crew not being totally up against it at least once.
私なら大丈夫。やめろ。どこでだって生きていけるから。バカ言ってんじゃね。
Cracking good voice acting there as Usopp was really trying to get through to her. So many of these animals would nowadays be done by using CGI, but here they were still relying on hand-on animation, and as a result, it's a thing of beauty to me. They're nearly all animated.
見ろよ。お前はいい判断をした。
Not my personal jam, but it's still new clothing all the same. Color me shocked that they actually went through with it. I figured it'd be like it always is in anime. Big threat, they all stop it happening, but no, it really did happen. Love how the crew are so large that quite the number could take part in that last battle, and yet you still have 3 more powerful allies coming along to aid them. Chopper applying the medical stuff, so much cuteness.
自分たちの村がめちゃめちゃになってるってのに、ナミのこと気遣ってくれてよ。
That is pretty true, and for that reason, they really do make for great side characters. It reminds me of some of the greats. The pirate who helped Luffy in the underground tunnels in the Baron movie, the kinda priestess who aided the crew in the Zoro Turns Bad Guy movie, the sick old man who helped on the ship in the 4th movie, and so on.
みんなが私を追ってきてくれても命を落とす結果になる。
How badly these words are shown to affect Luffy. Half is the art style change, the other half is because I figured they'd do the joke again. He doesn't speak, he speaks, they react, but he actually understood him without speaking.
Baby chan. せっかく条件を飲んでやったというのに。
That's an awesome twist, because not only was Nami not waiting to be rescued yet again, for context, she planned to blow up the trees and have the animals attack the palace, but also it's another twist that she's now infected.
より俺の配下に収まってもらうためのちぎりの杯を交わしてもらう。
Love me a crowd shot in the main series, and that remains the case here. Luffy and the crew arriving where Nami is and all the bad guys, let's friggin' go! So much not running on the spot though! Max wins for everyone wearing new clothing, but also because it was one hell of a badass entrance right there. They all looked so sick and powerful. These crowd shots are seriously bananas. They all looking so good shooting those firearms, but Brook laughing whilst he does it takes it to another level. This rotating shot looking smooth as anything as Brook defends Luffy. Luffy landing the first huge attack on him. Nami is brilliant in this movie. Even whilst being wrecked by the illness and made even worse by the minute, she still completed her initial plan to bring down the trees. I know they're after our crew as well, but happy to see them take revenge on the bad guys. Literally a win just for that. is just such awesome looking attacks from both of them. I do love his though, even with him being an evil guy. They look so good. Luffy looking badass! I totally forgot how much faster he is in second gear!
どいてろ。そいつは俺がぶった切る。
Literally the best person at that stage to turn up to help them in getting the cure for Nami. I love it. Oh my god, whoever did the animation for the Zoro fight here is such a legend! I love it so much though! Obviously, annoyingly, I can't show too much when it comes to the movies, but yeah, easy max wins for that. What a sick sight and end to that battle! Unlike Zoro, Sanji landed a bunch of attacks, so it's too long to show, but easy one for him also winning his battle in elegant and powerful style and saving the women of East Blue. Half the win is for the antidote to have started clearly working already, the other half is her tearing up to hear that they all came to rescue her, bless her eternal heart! I think it's very fair to say that we've never before had a final boss battle in a One Piece movie be so unique. The ceiling! Another super creative use of Robin's ability as they aim to destroy the entire location. One of the things I love most about this movie is that it's really the story of an insanely powerful guy who thought he could take what he wanted and legit picked the wrong girl from the wrong crew to mess with, and it's messed up his life's plans. Oh my goodness, that animation looking crisp! Had to cut a bunch there to get it onto YouTube, but it goes without saying that was so far, including in the main series, the single greatest attack Luffy has done. Like, that legit blew me away, to be honest. Going Gear 3 and then the lightning involved and everything else, insanely good, and obviously Max wins. Luffy is okay and everyone's reactions to it. Really nice ending, I thought, for the people of the island. Finally being able to use their wings to fly to safety. The animals largely surviving, the islands crashing down, baddies arrested, and so on. That kick being as sudden and furious as ever. I mean, come on, man. That sight is something else, I can't even lie. Why can't she wear that normally? In a weird way, it's nice to know that Luffy didn't just immediately forget about his anger at hearing that message and carried it with him still here. Very Usopp thing to do to stop him from throwing away a valuable and not to mention useful item. Hearing what was actually at the end of the original message from Nami. Nice credits, which surprisingly took the change of showing characters both old and new, and times in the past and present, which I personally really enjoyed a lot. Nice song too. A perfect ending to an amazing movie as well, that not only are the animals living in peace with each other now, but that they are living in harmony with the villagers too. Chrono, the Swedish Muggle, Marcelus the Roman, Nexus 47, AdmiralNugget, Moody Blues, Kody Tiffany, Timothy Wilcox, Curtis Daniels Jr., Tomo Sandy, Henrik Jessen, Tide Wes, David Freriks, OliveWharf, FuriousMoe, SaltLover, Jokerims, Rimuru, GamerLudwig, Onyx Calif, Donald Newburn, Robert Jackson, Sakomi Arorim, Starkip, Kai Wolfspring, Dante's Face, Mihran Ardjian, Kody Niemeier, Snowy, Sarcastic Truth, Hitter the Wicked, Will Sass, Thrasher 340, Owen Halloran, Extinct Hero, Alexander Schwartz, Dante Sol, Drake's Daughter, Rudies, Dragon Boy 1, Iso, Cameron, Mode of Rim, Tiger Lily Warrior, Knuckle Duster, Otter Abodonisi, Christian Tarassa, Matthew Barr, Ruby Rose, Commander Cyrus, Cloud Garden, Luis Minito, Brian Bayot, Mini Masher, Garrett Vermeesh, Ryan DeVeries, Dragon Defender, Natsu Dragneel, A Joker XD, Willy Man, Laxor, TRS, Liam Gogati, Kai158, Mr. Firecall, Wacky Normal, Science 44, Lionel Schultz, Kevin Elston, Nozomi, Nick Monaco, Marvin, Satakayari, Devikel, Christopher Willis, Laxus, Michael Lewis, Lazy Joe Beard, CD Mad Gamer, Cecilia, Nick Wyndham, Nuvagown, Guru, Cedric, Kevin 102, Sean, Darth Weirdo, Dragonstorm 35, Cumfroik, Kellock, Marquez, Q-Flash, Brainless Ben, Oliver Smiley Reacts, Your Edvardson, Kepan, Kyle Jones, Peter Milligan, John, The Element Taylor Wars, Amadillo, Nick Pell, Orkeeper, The Epic Commander, Jason Davies, Lightly Winter, Matthew Blancett, Oscar I. Lopez, Juffer6263, Storm 970, Isel Caldera, Kevin Nauta, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Dan, Ali 50, Bird Without a Word, Chris Harris, 9028, Headshot Hunter, Brandon Creer.